Hey, my friends, I'm at home and I have incredible news. I delayed making a video because I found this out Tuesday. Today's Thursday, but the crisis of the truck appears to be solved. The number of friends who just immediately showed up and made generous donations was super inspiring. And then Saturday, I put a video on YouTube, and one of my regular donors, Marilee, became a super angel and just made a very generous gift. And that basically got us all the way out of the ditch of having the expenses. And now I want to thank everybody. And then I want to show you something cool that you can do to cool your landscape, similar to the Cool Breeze Challenge. But first, let me thank everybody. There's a huge list here. This has been so gratifying. Sort of who would have thought in my mind that it could come together so organically, this need for support for biointegrity and rainmaking with trees and strategic watering to eliminate fire weather across the Southwest and the Northwest rest of this summer. So, okay, today's July 30th. I leave tomorrow, July 31st. Here are the people I really sincerely want to thank for helping us get on the road and then back on the road. Again, Marilee, the primary breakthrough angel in all of this. Also my mother, who is providing financial support and trying to be there in lots of other ways right now for the long vision of biointegrity. Pat Ayres is also a friend that is coming forward with large gifts, and I super appreciate that. I've got volunteers that have shown up and given me incredible help. One is Grayson Price, who's still just a college student, but he's been helping me for a couple of years, and that help has been instrumental in getting some stuff across. And then most recently, Amy Nelson and Carol Cody have been kind of helping us advance in ways that I can't do by myself. So thank them a ton. And then all these friends, Murphy McBride, who I've known since I was a kid, and she inspires me the deepest level. Carol and Kent Hemingson, same thing with Carol and Kent. But it just means a lot to have people you've known since before you can remember effectively help out. Laura Sankey, who I knew in high school, and we're still connected through socials, and that's a real blessing and gift to hear from her. Laura and Jeff Comstock, who just immediately stepped up, just like Stephanie Bailey and Anne-Marie Thomas, all friends from now years and some decades. Theresa DiMenno, and who's Joe Ray DiMenno's sister, and I just figured this out. I'm the last person in Austin to figure out who Theresa DiMenno is. And I believe maybe her significant friend John Sorenson have also helped. Lauren Maples, who is a incredible friend from 20 years ago, who also runs probably the best environmental nonprofit in Austin, Texas today. Patty Crittenden, my cousin, who I dearly adore. And it's just so good to have all that family support. Now, coincidentally, I also didn't know, because I've been so busy doing the rainmaking stuff, about all the amazing other funding gifts that had come through right around the time of my birthday, which is in middle of July, which is also right around the time that things really started to click in the Southwest for getting rains going a couple of weeks ago. It's all very magical feeling sometimes when it works. But anyway, I'm just learning the donation platform for my nonprofit because I've had my eyes on other things. And so I also want to thank John and Linda Raff, and Linda and John Raff, this incredible, also family friends pair that has been real influential over my life. Trish Buck, my friend from the Casper Rawls world, and just so many people I adore there. Chris Gallegos, or Gallegos, I'm not sure how you say your name, brother, but he's an old friend from Twang days. And Seela, Misra, one of my close old friends that we kind of keep in touch, and then, everything over these decades. We've known each other for 25, 30 years. Just a gift. Stephen Dobberfuhl, I've known since second or third grade. Thank you, Stephen, Dr. Stephen. Angela Gober is a distant family friend, and I just couldn't believe that she came through right around that time with a generous gift. All of these funds are going to go to get me back out on the road and keep me out there for the rest of the Southwest and Northwest projects. And there's still one more group of people, which is folks that are giving on a monthly basis or a regular basis to BioIntegrity. Most of these folks have been supporting me since before I became the rainmaker and the strategic waterer and the person trying to share that with the world. And I appreciate them also at a deep, deep level. And I just want to say their names too. So Rob Wilson, Rob and Ann, I've known since 2015, and I just, to have Rob's support is to have the support of someone who lives by his integrity, his rules, and it means a lot to me that Rob does so much every single month for BioIntegrity. Murphy McBride, she is a butterfly among us, and she only seems to bring good things to the world. Leon and Barbra from Buda, through the Tavern on Main, and Julie Renfro and all my friends down there when I was living down there in the aughts. Those people are so great, and Leon and Barbra are still connected through supporting this work. It means everything. Vince DeRossi also gave earlier this year from that crew. Janie Orr, old family friend, her daughter Allison has also supported BioIntegrity in many instances over these years. I can't speak highly enough praise for those people as people, and not to mention how they're known, how they're famous. Again, my mother, who is constantly trying to add whatever she can. She's seen that the last few years in particular have been very thin financially, and she's definitely been there to keep things from falling apart. Suzette Puckett, I have known since 2010 or so. That's just so cool. Marilee Berry again, I met through the YouTubing of the Rainmaking with Trees work. She is the angel getting us back on the road, getting us out of the ditch this time. It's just such a supreme sense of validation to have been found by Marilee, who I know is really researching the people doing important work in ecology, and then to have developed a friendship and her to make any gift on a monthly basis, and then now this big breakthrough gift to get me watering again tomorrow in Durango. Jeff Haley, nearly my oldest friend in the world, and he and his family are real important to me, and he just made another generous gift. That's incredible. And then Suzanne Rittenberry, who I would like to know better. I've known off and on through projects starting in the 2005s when I was doing Sustainable Shoppers Ball and Good Common Sense and doing more local advocacy for the environment. The amount of money that's come in is basically exactly the cost of the truck, and now there will be a little bit hopefully coming in to help with other expenses. So we're still bootstrapping, but the fact that it all lines up just makes me think we're on the right path. And thank you for that honor and privilege to be in this role. And I hope you try watering your trees, and it will bring clouds and it'll darken your landscape, and you'll feel nicer, cooler, fresher throughout the summer to water your trees. All right, anyway, you get the point. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you, everybody, supporting me, and I will see you in Colorado. Hi there. I'm going to show you the cheat code for cooling your landscape with a hose nozzle and water. So here we go. Turn on the hose after you've connected your nozzle. The one I'm using is going to be super sloppy, and that's okay when you're trying to do rehydration. See how it's leaking out of the handle here? Normally that's, definitely not cool. But in this case, we don't mind because we're trying to spread water around. And I already did a rehydration here on the soil covering you see. about 2:45 this afternoon. It helped cool things down a lot. Now we're gonna spray as high as I can with this broken sprayer, and hopefully you'll see the conditions change just a little bit, the tree respond a little bit. And all I'm gonna do is count to 15 before I move the hose down the trunk. So here we go. I go up and I start here on a conifer as high as I can hold it. It doesn't have to be very high. This is about 7 feet high. 6 1,000, 7 1,000, 8 1,000, 9 1,000, 10 1,000, 3,000, 15 1,000. And then I go down the trunk slowly for the other 15. $15 to 1,000. Now I'm going to come around to a dry spot again. Do the same thing. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, etc. And there it goes. 10 1,000, 12 1,000, 15 1,000. The light just got darker. The tree's moving around, going down the trunk here. Cool. One more time. Step into the garden a little bit. Get this dry side. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, etc. 8 1,000. A little bit of movement up there again. Here it comes. Light breeze. Probably all we're gonna get. Now, slow it down, and then I'm just gonna moisten lightly the other branches a little bit. You can sort of see all the moisture moving through the air. As I mentioned, sloppy's good. If you do what I just did, just hold the nozzle up, it can be a mess. And let's look at this tree. Spray for a count of 15. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, up to 15 in one spot. And then slowly go down for 15 more seconds roughly down your tree to the bottom, and then just pivot around and do 3 or 4 sides until it's really saturated in this way. You want a light spray. You don't want it just on mist, but mist is okay. It's just mist won't give you the reaction. If you do it on a hard spray, you'll get a reaction, but you're gonna sort of push your tree so hard that it's harder for it to react later. So you wanna go light, and you can do these things repeatedly to cool a landscape. So the last thing I'll say is when you do this at, like I mentioned earlier, 2:30 in the afternoon, when the peak of the sun is straight overhead, or when the UV is really high, then you're gonna see the trees be more responsive. You'll see sometimes they just start knocking back and forth. Sometimes their limbs will start rolling around. There'll be, nice breezes cutting through the canopy of where you are, and you'll also feel the air right where you are cool down. And since you're giving water to trees, the water that they hold on to from their hydration will then come back out again in a trillion little molecular pieces, adding more coolth to the atmosphere and to the other living things on the landscape. The other leaves can intercept the moisture, and that will green them up. We call this tree humidity. This is like cool, moist air rather than warm, moist air. That's the breath released by the trees as they are doing photosynthesis with new moisture. It comes out about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, loosely speaking, as opposed to humidity, which is the moisture in the plants getting so hot that it gets released to try and sort of protect them. And that moisture gets heated in the hot atmosphere that caused them to release it. So it's a defense mechanism dealing with overheating. In the case of moistening your trees, this is a productivity mechanism dealing with luxury and lushness and hydration and all the things that any living thing wants and will be responsive to. Water, water, water. Put water on your trees. 15 1,000.